This world is not a good world. And now we suffer the consequences of being part of it. We cling to leaders like saviors, their crowns a beacon of hope in dark times. A true savior already knows our fate. He knows our blood has become one with this putrid floating rock. Is there redemption? Or do we simply leave behind the world we have corrupted? The journey to salvation is long. Our atonement cannot be through restoration, only self-destruction. Our shepherds lead us to slaughter and must be punished. The promised land is not so hard to find. It's right there, at the edge of my blade. No more empires, no more heroes, no more kings.
Welcome to another Heroes of Newerth Hero Spotlight, featuring Kane, the Usurper who is an orphaned, mixed-breed warrior raised by Malakin to despise all forms of royalty and authority. Kane's utopia is a Newerth without crowns, with only the strongest and most savage allowed to hold dominion over others. Kane is a strength-focused hero who is primarily effective in the counter-carry role with his ability to single out heroes. He will also bring push presence, which we will explain why shortly. Kane's first ability is Wailing. Kane throws his sword forward, dealing physical damage as well as pulling any enemy's hit to him and applying a 20% 4-second slow. This ability has a small AoE radius, so attempting to catch multiple heroes is effective, as well as simply using it as a farming tool. Waylay can also be used to disrupt channel abilities to help prevent big ultimates such as this Tempest ultimate, or even the Homecoming Stone use. This ability is a very effective gap closer, with its main purpose being for offensive use. However, there will be times in which defensively it could shine as well. Such as you see here, Aluna is fleeing from Kraken, but with Kane using Waylay, it not only buys more distance for Aluna, but applies a slow and makes it impossible for the chase to continue. Kane's second ability is Balance of Power. Balance of Power is two different auras in which Kane can switch between over a short duration. The first aura is Offensive Force, which grants Kane and nearby allies a % chance on attack to deal 1.5 times damage. It also grants out-of-combat mana regeneration, as well as Kane receiving a small move speed increase. The second aura is Defensive Might, which grants Kane and nearby allies armor as well as an out-of-combat health regeneration. However, this aura will decrease Kane's move speed by a small amount. There will be a short duration between changing auras depending on the level of Balance of Power, so planning when to use which is important. A lot of decision making will come down to how you are playing Kane in the match and which teammates you are playing with. However, generally using Offensive Force to enter fights will give you and your teammates more burst potential to kill the enemy heroes quicker. As a fight comes to an end, switching to Defensive Might to apply the health regen to you and your teammates can help keep your team moving forward rather than having to fall back. Kane's third ability is Steel Resolve. Kane passively applies Kane's Anguish for 1.5 seconds to enemies he attacks. Kane's Anguish causes enemies to deal up to 50% less damage to Kane, depending on the level of the ability. Steel Resolve is arguably the ability that makes Kane the counter carry he is, especially when synergized with the ultimate, which we will get into shortly. As mentioned earlier as well, Kane brings a bit of push presence to the team, and Steel Resolve helps with that. Kane's Anguish will also be applied to towers, so as long as Kane has aggro on the tower, he will be taking up to 50% less damage from it. Kane's ultimate is Face Off. Targeting an enemy hero or tower causes Kane and the target to be forced to attack each other for up to 4.5 seconds. Combatants are sighted, revealed, or receive max move speed and increased attack speed, as well as a pretty sweet animation. With Kane having his Steel Resolve leveled up, he will be benefiting from it throughout the duration of Face Off, which more so than not will help him come out on top. One of several ways to use Face Off effectively is as a crowd control ability. If the other team has a carry who has a bit of farm, using Face Off on them will not only give you and your teammates free reign to do damage, but will also prevent the opposing carry from putting out effective damage themselves. Another way to use Face Off is to help finish off an enemy hero who may be attempting to flee. It is also effective used early in a fight, knowing that Kane will likely come out on top due to his item progression. As pointed out, Face Off will also work against towers, so forcing a tower to attack you while applying the Steel Resolve debuff can help progress the lane quicker. Now let's take a look at how Kane's abilities shine in game. In the laning phase, Kane takes advantage of Geomancer getting a little too close for comfort, and proceeds to use Waylay to pull him closer and apply the slow. Then face off to finish the job, preventing Geomancer from getting away. As the enemy team attempts to tower dive Kane, his teammates start porting in to assist. The enemies realize they need to retreat, but Kane casts face off on Cthulhuphant to keep him there, and ultimately buys the time needed for the kill. Entering a big team fight, Kane goes for a quick pick-off on Slither, then proceeds to use face-off against the spinning Swiftblade, which applies the Steel Resolve debuff and pulls Swiftblade away from his teammates. This allows for Kane's team to get in better position to ultimately win the fight. When it comes to item progression for Kane, a lot could depend on what your team may need. If you want to build more of a hard-hitting route, items such as Insanitarius, Elder Parasite, and Dawnbringer would be effective. If you want to build more of a tank presence, then items such as Helm of the Black Legion, Demonic Breastplate, and Behemoth's Heart could be your best bet. Thank you for watching this Hero Spotlight featuring Kane the Usurper. Be sure to check out Kane and his other avatars, as well as his attempts to complete his Utopia next patch.
I only need 8 bits to kick your ass. Fight already! Fight already! Fight already!